Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Surfer's Journey. This is episode 2 in our Point of View surf lesson series. And this episode is all about how to catch the best waves in every single session that you have. Every episode in this series builds on the previous one. So if you haven't checked out episode number 1, check that one out and then come back to this one. And guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe now so you can stay up to date with all of my latest videos and tutorials. But for now, let's get into today's lesson of the week. Catching the best waves in every surf session doesn't happen by mistake. Have you ever heard the saying that by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail? Well, it's the same when you go out into the water. If you don't have a plan on where you're going to sit and the kind of waves you're going to catch, how can you expect to have a good time and catch the best waves possible? The ocean's a big place, so we have to have a plan when we go into it of where we're going to sit and the waves we're going to try and catch. If we enter the water with no plan, we're going to end up catching all the wrong waves. And there's nothing more frustrating than that. We're wasting time and energy. We want to use that time and energy to catch the good waves. And I'm going to explain exactly how we do that. There are many different skills that come together to help us catch the best waves. And the first one starts well before we actually enter the water. And that's all about performing a pre-surf analysis. So for example, if I rock up to the beach today and I'm going to go for a surf out here, I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking at where the best waves are. And once I've actually identified where those waves are, then I'm going to find a landmark that associates with where those waves are breaking. Let's break this down further. Once we make our way into the water out the back, we need to have a look at a landmark. Now usually we have houses or trees. We choose one of these and we line up with that when we're out in the water. And that's how we know from our pre-surf check of where the best waves are. So if I choose the red house when I'm out in the water, I know that if I'm in line with that red house, I'm close to where those good waves are breaking. Now, of course, despite your best efforts, sometimes you'll just not be in the right place at the right time. You might be too close in, or you might be too far out, or you might be sitting too far on the inside and the wave breaks wide. These things happen from time to time, but by having a plan and knowing where your landmark is, and by doing that pre-surf analysis, you're going to be somewhere close to catch the best wave when it comes. In addition to that, a pre-surf analysis also includes things like identifying where rips are, or looking at how other surfers are getting out there. Is there a current taking us from left to right or from right to left? I'll also be looking at how many waves there are in a set, so I know when I'm out there that there's a 3-wave set coming, I've got 3 opportunities to catch a wave. The size of the waves will also play a big part in where you choose to sit. Bigger waves will often break further out and they'll break wider on the bank or the reef. Smaller waves tend to hug the bank or the reef more and break closer to shore. So decide before you go out what kind of wave you're going to be hunting in that surf session. These are little observations that you want to make that will make a big difference for you once you actually get out into the water. One tip to remember is that just because you're sitting somewhere close to where the good waves are, well, there are still going to be bad waves that break where you're sitting. And you have to be able to say no to the bad waves in order to save yourself for the good waves. Another tip is that we can use the other surfers in the lineup as markers. So we might know that our mate who's sitting 50 meters down the beach, he's sitting on a really good right-hander. And should conditions change while you're out in the water, you might decide you're going to head down to where they are. Another trick that we can use to track where the best waves are when we're out in the lineup is to watch where the whitewater is. Now for example, as a wave breaks, you can see that it leaves a whitewater trail behind it. Now you can see the outline of where that wave's actually come from. So if you're out in the lineup and somehow the conditions have changed and you've got a little bit lost, we're looking for this. We're looking for where that whitewater trail is, and we know that if we sit near that, that's where we're going to catch those waves. Whether it's the left-hander or right-hander, it depends on the day, but use the whitewater trail to help you get into a better position.
Another critical skill that we need to develop and learn is all about changing your expectations from surf session to surf session. One day is always different to the next. Things change overnight and they change by the hour, so you have to consider that. Look at the surf before you go out, do that pre-surf analysis, and then change your expectations for that specific session.
When I talk about changing your expectations from day to day, what I mean by that is that one day, a 1 foot closeout might be the best wave of the session, compared to a day like this, where there were a couple of fantastic right-handers that were running for a long time, and the bigger ones were the better ones. So on this day, I was waiting longer for the sets so I could get those good right-handers when they came, because they offered better opportunities for turns, speed, and power, and ultimately fun. Once you start applying all these different techniques and skills to your next surfing session, I guarantee that you'll be catching better waves more frequently.
Guys, thanks for watching the video today. I hope that now you understand what you need to do to catch the best waves every single time you go surfing. Catching the best waves allows you to do your best surfing. You get more speed, you get better sections, and you can practice more critical turns as you start to progress. Remember to like the video and comment below to let me know what other videos you'd like to see. Cheers guys, see you in the water.